This is a blog for Tuesday the 18th of November panto rehearsals. In the first lesson with Cindy, we just had the dancers, so we focused on clearing up the routines and clarifying movements and looking at spacing throughout the choreographies. So we looked at Hollaback Girl, Apache, Bongo Song, and that was it. We also had to learn a new dance today, which would be To Somewhere Beyond the Sea, and we're all mermaids in this part. So we first went over recapping the choreography. So we went over Apache, and we as a company need to work on Shanley's section, on his filling sections, because we don't know his choreography for that bit. We need to clarify the hip hop section in Apache, as some people, including myself, are struggling with the movements. So we did that, and it looks better now, and it's more cleaned. We also went through refining the arrows that we're in. So now we all know where we need to be. So I'm behind Hannah, so I know that I need to be just behind her shoulder, but a little bit stood out. And that's what Leah does, and then Shanley does. So we're in a cleaner line now. And then we worked on Bongo. Now Bongo's an extremely difficult dance because it's quite technical. So we went over basically clarifying movements so that people could understand it, which I found very useful because now I know how to perform some certain movements which I didn't know before. And in Hollaback Girl we went over facials because they play a massive part in it, and I'm really struggling with that. So because in Hollaback Girl it's all about attitude, I'm trying to perform facially and I'm trying to think of things. I think I'm getting there each week. I just need to get on with it and deal with it, and stop being so insecure about looking a tool, because everyone's trying to do the same thing and look and have an attitude in the face. Oh yeah, and we also went over the Jungle, Welcome to the Jungle song, as this song is very demanding and it requires a lot of performance skills and over-exaggeration because it's a rock song and you're meant to be rocking out to it, so we really need to bring personality to that song. So we went over that. And we learnt the Somewhere Beyond the Sea, which is an American smooth style dance. So it's I found it quite well. I found it easier than others, but I was getting a little mixed up with the timings for the songs. So I struggled with the musicality with this song quite a bit and picking up the movements, as we had a short amount of time to pick up the movements in. So I really need to work on my musicality within this song. And then we have a duet section, and my partner is Daniel. And there's a bit where we have a cherry flick, and I'm pulling Daniel to do the cherry flick, which cherry flick is you hold someone and they move across your body, and you pull them back and the legs fly in the air like that. And we had no trouble doing that. And then he picks me up and I do a pas de chat. And then we join hands and do a little cutesy bit. The only problem with all those movements was the timing, because it's extremely fast. It goes from the cherry flip to the pas de chat to the little cutesy section, and it's very, very difficult to get into it. I must have hit Daniel a few times, which I can't really do that. So I really need to work on my timing and get into the movement, but also finishing off the previous movement that I've done before going into the next movement. As an independent learner, I really need to clarify movements for the Bongo song, as it's so technical that you can't afford to get the movements wrong. I need to work on my facials in Hollaback Girl, definitely, because I need to perform with my face. I just need to bring more to the table with Welcome to the Jungle, because it's that demanding of a song. I need to add technique into Apache and learn Shanley's section. because I've got my performance in Apache. I just need to add technical elements now. And with Somewhere Beyond the Sea, me and Daniel need to go away and practice the little duet interlude so that we have got the timings on point. My strengths of this session were remembering our choreography and responding well to criticism from Cindy, and being able to adapt choreography quickly and pick up changes. Also learning Somewhere Beyond the Sea. My weaknesses were not having the correct timings in Somewhere Beyond the Sea, as this caused quite a few problems with me and Daniel, and we collided quite a bit. Moving on to panto rehearsals with the actors, our objective name for the session today was to recap blocking and choreography, to participate in warm-ups delivered by myself and Hannah, and to create routines and blocking for scenes 6 and 7. In my warm-up, which was What Time Is It, Mr. Wolf? I got people to interact with props, not speak, and create improvised scenes. So I put on some Charleston music, which I find is quite uplifting and quite humorous myself. I don't know if anyone else found that, but I did. And I asked them to use the props, but not use the props as what they'd use them for. So there was a hat. I said, don't use the hat as a hat and use your imagination. So this was good because in panto you need to improvise quite a lot. And you need to be over-exaggerated and use your imagination because a panto is a fictional story. So this worked well, and people were laughing and having fun during my game, which is what I wanted. But they were also being physical, which was enabling them to raise the heartbeat and get prepared for the session. In Hannah's warm-up, which was ladders, this focused on the ladders game where we sat with our legs, with our feet touching each other, and we had to race the person we were opposite. If she shouted certain characters, like she'd shout Crocodile or Lost Boys or Wendy or Peter, and if we were given a character, if that was shouted, we'd have to run all the way down, back, and sit in our position to win. So this got you moving, and this got you prepared and ready to react to something that was happening. So I did like that warm up a lot. We then went on to going run-throughs, and we first had Jack's scene, which is after Apache. The dances were, I didn't fully commit to most dances. I don't really know why. I just wasn't in the game today. I don't honestly know why. But the scenes went fine, and we got given new entrances and exits, which I sort of forgot. So I really need to write them in my script, which I have been writing in my script, and they've been written there. So I've written them in now so that I don't forget them and that I know for next session. I responded well to other people in the scene and tried different things with interacting with different characters. So in the Welcome to the Jungle, I interact with other characters and try different things. Without speaking, I have no lines in that. So in that, we have to greet the Lost Boys. So there's a bit where me and Ashley come together, and as I'm a Red Indian, I don't know a handshake, and she goes to shake my hand, and I just continue to how. I teach her how to say how as a Red Indian, and she teaches me how to handshake. So I thought that was quite nice. And we got onto my scene today, which is scene 7, which is Marooners Rock. I enjoyed doing my scene today. I knew my lines, so I didn't have my script. I knew all my lines and my entrances and exits, and I felt really good about doing my scene. I didn't forget my lines, which was good. And because I didn't have a script, I was able to freely not worry about lines and freely trial and error things that my character would do. I got given feedback that I brought life to the scene, and that I was in the correct character mode. I was in the correct characterization, and I didn't do a bad job of it. I did quite well. I believe I could push myself more, but seeing as though it was the first run through of my scene, I didn't want to push my character too much so that it just all wouldn't work. So I've built the foundation now. I just need to continuously trial and error things. The group strength of today was that we reached the objective for today by creating the blocking for scenes 6 and 7. However, it took quite a long time to get to that stage, as some people weren't putting enough commitment in and were messing about, missing the cues, missing the exits, which meant they had to start the scenes all over again, and from people not knowing the lines, which they can't afford to at this stage in the panto, because having a script, it leaves you restricted. So this was rather annoying. So as a whole group, we need to arrange extra rehearsals externally so we can speed up the process. My strength individually today was that I didn't have my script. I knew my lines, and I knew my entrances and exits, thanks to other people, which I should really know myself. My weaknesses today was that I could have put more effort into the dances. I was a little tired and Apache, and I didn't put much effort into Welcome to the Jungle, as I got a neck injury last time from headbanging too much, so I was cautious of it this time. So that means I need to find a balance between the two so that I don't get injuries, but so that I'm performing enough. I need to clarify exits and entrances, which I have done. I've writing them on my script. My area of improvement is to script my entrances and exits, as it will help me to remember and keep it there so that I can visually see it, and that I know. That concludes this blog.